Welcome back to MVM. Today we're going to be taking a look at Longshot the Dice Game. This is a 1 to 8 player roll and write from designer Chris Handy and Perplext Games. And if you hadn't guessed already, it brings in the theme of horse racing and a fair amount of the excitement too. And like its predecessor from over a decade ago, this game has players going and placing bets at the track, but this time, the roll and write aspects really open things up with a literal array of scoring options. The player board is where you'll find almost every way to score in this game. And of course, your points are your money, and everyone will begin the game with $12 in their hand. The main section of the board is where you'll be placing your bets on any of 8 horses in a given race, with a variety of odds and a column to calculate the payout for each horse at the end of the game. There's also an area to expand your ability to place bets, as well as enhance the horses to move along with the other horses on the track. And what horse track wouldn't be complete without a concession stand? In this case, it's where you'll unlock a wide variety of bonus actions, many of which can have an unexpected impact on the race. But the player board's not the only place where action is going to be taking place. Unlike many roll and writes that have a set number of rounds, this one at its center has a horse race going on right in the middle of the table, and this also serves as a dynamic timer for the entire game. The main board is where you'll find the track itself, with 8 different horses lined up and ready to go. Over the course of the game, they'll be moving around the track until the first 3 horses have crossed the finish line, which is the end of the game. Beside the track are horse cards corresponding to each of the 8 horses in the race. The game comes with 2 sets of horses that you can use, and they suggest using one set or the other for your first games, but you can mix and match the horses, making for more of a custom game, as long as you just have one horse of each number. Each horse card has the same type of information. Across the top is the horse's number, its name, and the cost associated with buying it. Across the midsection of the card is its unique ability and when it's triggered, artwork depicting the horse, and its payout odds for finishing first, second, or third in the race. And spanning the bottom of the card is a full lineup of all 8 horses. More on this later, but it affects which horses move along with this horse when it initiates movement. And of course, you have to have dice for any true roll and write, and in this case, we have an 8-sided dice representing the horses, and a 6-sided dice with values 1 to 3 representing the movement of those horses. Before the race gets underway, starting cards are dealt out, which seed each player board with 2 initial bets and some progress at their concession stand. Once players have filled out their boards accordingly, along with their $12, it's time to begin the race. And as I said, this game doesn't have a set number of rounds, but each round does follow the same 4 steps. Roll the dice, move the horse 1 to 3 spaces, move any associated horses 1 space, and then all players take 1 action. The active player rolls both dice. Then, the horse that was rolled is moved a number of spaces according to the movement die. After that, check the card for that horse to determine the other horses that will move this round, and move each of them only 1 space. Once all of that is done, everyone will take 1 action, starting with the active player and proceeding clockwise around the table. You have 5 options for your action. You can bet, which allows you to place a bet of up to $3 on the horse that was just rolled, adjusting your money, of course. You can mark a helmet for the rolled horse, which will then allow you to place bets on that horse even after it's crossed the no bet line on the track. You can mark the jersey for the horse. This allows you to immediately place a mark on that horse's card so that more horses will move a little bit whenever that horse moves. And you can visit the concessions and mark off one of the unmarked symbols corresponding to the rolled horse die. When doing this, if you complete a row or column, you may immediately claim a concession bonus. These range from money to moving horses to free bets, or maybe even some other standard actions that you would otherwise take on your turn. And the last option is to buy the horse that was rolled. If it's still available and hasn't crossed the finish line, you simply pay its cost and place that horse card in your play area. Note that each horse has a unique ability that goes into effect once owned. These will happen at various times, which is pretty clear based on the description on the card, but note that some of them happen immediately when you purchase them. The game does offer some extra flexibility in the form of 3 wild spots. A player may mark one of these spots when taking their action in order to use a number of their choice this round instead of the one rolled on the horse die. And that's really all there is to a given round. It's a straightforward game to play, but with some interesting decisions and choices as you're playing. And like I said, you're going to continue doing this round to round until the first 3 horses cross that finish line, and then it's time to score. First, you'll look to see if any horse you might own finished first, second, or third, and then take the associated purse of $35, $25, or $15 respectively. Then, you'll gain $5 for each horse that you've marked on both the helmet and the jersey. Next, you'll calculate the payouts of your bets, multiplying your bets by the odds depending on how each horse finished the race. Note that you'll get 1 times odds for horses that didn't finish the race, but made it past the no-bet line. The last thing is to add any remaining money you had at the end of the race, and be sure to check to see if any horse you owned has an ability that impacts scoring in any way. And the player with the most money wins the game. Unlike many roll and writes, this one really has a dynamic element that makes it a more exciting experience. So many other ones have players with their heads down, quietly marking things on their sheets, which is generally not the case here. Be sure to check out their campaign for more information, but if you have any questions at all, please make them in the comments below. We'll do our best to answer them. Until next time, make sure everyone has fun at the table, and thanks again for watching. Congratulations, you got to the end of one of our videos. Now, if you want more practice, just click on the video over here. It's another video. You might not have seen it yet, so click on it. If you don't want to do that, at least click on the subscription button below. That always helps us. And if you want notifications, please ring that bell.